All right, but yeah, guys, get ready to say hi to YouTube. I want to talk about my initial impressions. I actually got the chance to play the beta for about 6 or 7 hours, and the beta went down. So I figured it was a good time to make my initial impressions and talk about what I like, what I didn't like. Honestly, this game's a ton of fun, and I would recommend anyone try it out if they still have access to the beta. When you're watching this, the game's definitely worth trying out. I think overall the battle system feels really good. The netcode is actually amazing. Like overall, this is probably like one of the best netcodes I've played. I would say like I haven't tried against specifically people in like Japan or Russia, but every single match other than like a few of them have just felt really good. Like I can't tell where people are from, which is really good because they all feel the same. And whenever something like that happens, you already know like the netcode is really good. I think also on top of that, like they have a really good buffer system. Like it seems like a lot of times when I'm trying to input a move, it comes out. Like you don't have to have very specific, strict timing like you did in the old Guilty Gears, which is a very welcome change. And I think it also makes the game a lot more netplay friendly. The issue that I did run into with the netcode is that the Wi-Fi still sucks. I had a couple very choppy matches, and I suspect they were choppy because the other person must have been on Wi-Fi or something. Please, if you guys are playing this game, please do not play on Wi-Fi. The lobby, however, and this is probably like my number one gripe of this game, the lobby is actually terrible. And so I think the main 4 points about why this lobby is bad: there's no rematch button, which means that every time you play against someone, you can't hit rematch. You have to go back into the lobby. And then when you actually go into the lobby, you have to ready up. And the issue with this is you don't like most lobbies, you don't like sit at a cabinet or you don't like just challenge someone directly. Someone has to ready up and the other party has to challenge the person that's ready up. So if both people don't ready up, they can't play. And if both people ready up, they can't play. They have to face each other and then ready up, which is really cursed. And you kind of have to like guess what the other person's gonna ready up or not. Very poorly thought out system. You get kicked out of the lobby. So if you do like too good or too bad, and it kind of like ranks you based on what lobby you should be in, you'll get kicked out of the lobby. So if you're having like a good set with someone, the lobby will just kick you out and be like, sorry, bro, you can't play a long set against me. So I imagine if these lobbies stick, there'll probably be like a lot of Discord matchmaking just so you can get long sets against people, because trying to get a long set against someone is pretty hard in this game, it seems, at least in the beta. I do think that, the saving grace is that there is training mode matching, so you can wait in training mode match against someone. I think that feels a lot better, to be honest. It is against random people, but it still felt like the consistency of matches was there, and then you didn't have to like play that ready up game. And I think overall that was what I preferred. So hopefully I hope to avoid lobbies in the future is what I'm trying to say, and I hope they add a rematch button. So the battle system is like the main thing that we've gotten to play around with. Some of the pros of the battle system are like the pacing felt really good. Like it feels like fast. It feels like the speed of Guilty Gear, but it doesn't feel too fast, right? Feels like you can think and you can plan out your moves in neutral, and you can't just get away with doing scrubby shit. I mean, especially in the beta, I didn't feel like I was getting scrubbed out very rarely. Maybe like people mashing throw, but that's easy to beat, and throws aren't 1 frame startup anymore. They're 3 frames, right? That will be easier to beat once I get a couple more days under my belt. Constant return to neutral, I really like. I think the old Guilty Gears had a little too much focus on Oki, and sometimes, like, especially for new players, they could just get set play to death. In this game, like, most of the time when you get knocked down, you return to neutral. Some characters have really good set play, but they're balanced out by like their damage, or they have to sacrifice a lot of damage for the Oki, right? Whether it be in the corner or whether it be mid-screen. I think the defensive options are good. I think the new RC is really strong. It also feels harder to bait out a burst, which means that you can get out of combos more often. Not to mention that there's less Oki too. There's instant block, which seems strong. Instant block, faultless defense, which I don't think I managed to successfully do once. I think the timing range for instant block is like 2 frames or something crazy like that. So it's kind of hard to do. And then the RC system, I think the fact that you have like 4 different types of RCs, I think is like one of the most godlike things ever. It seems like you have a lot of variability in how you want to use your RCs. And the other cool thing is that there's different things you can do with the RC, right? So a couple that come to my mind are you can fast cancel the RC, which means if you like press a button right after you do the RC, the whole time stop thing doesn't happen. And the other thing is that if you do a direction before RC for a blue RC, or if you do a mash a dash direction after for a purple or red RC, you'll move in that direction. And so you can do a lot of cool mix-ups and a lot of cool things with that. So I really like the RC system. I think it adds a lot of depth. I like it better, even if there's no like FRC or that sort of thing. I think this is fine. I think this is a really cool mechanic. It's not too technically taxing too. I think one of the other things I like about this game is there doesn't seem like the technical barriers to play this game at a high level is not nearly as high as it was in like Plus R, for example. So it definitely feels more accessible too. I think that's good. Some of the cons, I don't like the lack of gatherings. Sometimes your character's block streams feel very stiff. Like you'll do a 2L on block and you can only really cancel into like a special or sweep. And 2Ls in this game are typically minus. So it's like, it doesn't feel like you can really freeform pressure. You kind of feel like you have a set limited number of options, which is unfortunate because I like the freedom that old Guilty Gears give you in relationship to how you structure your pressure. But maybe they'll change that, as I hope they do. And if not, like you could still do some cool pressure, and you have RCs and characters have cool special moves they can cancel into. So that's not the biggest deal. I think jumping and certain airborne moves seem really strong right now. So there's a big change from the old Guilty Gears to the new Guilty Gears, where if you're doing a jumping move, right? Or if you're just jumping in normally without FD, you would get punished by any anti-air. In this game, you just go back on block. It seems really good. It feels like you could just jump at them, right? And you could do something like an empty jump throw, and if they try to AA you just back off. And if they don't AA you, they have to sort of take a mix-up, right? Between you doing like an air dash normal, or you doing empty jump throw, or you doing something else. So yeah, jumping seems really strong, and I think it limits certain things that like zoners can do. But maybe the game's balanced around that. We don't quite know the meta yet. So, and I think the funniest thing is the numbers that pop up when you do a combo. I think that's like the stupidest design decision I've ever seen. I haven't seen one person that's like, oh my god, these numbers are so big, that's so hype, I can't wait to get into this game. I mean, that's just silly. Come on, guys. But what's the future of Strive look like? Honestly, I think it looks very good. I think everyone's gushing about the netcode. It doesn't hide Wi-Fi, but it's still very good. It's probably the best netcode of like any modern game that's on PS4. So it's gonna be like the first rollback game that everyone's playing. And if you think about it like that, it's gonna be really hype. I think there's gonna be a lot of sick tournaments that happen for this at the start. A lot of people that don't typically play Guilty Gear, such as like DBZ players, Granblue players, Street Fighter players, are going to be playing this game, and you're going to have a lot of meshing in communities. And I think that's going to be pretty dope. And so I think the game, especially at the start, is going to be pretty poppin'. Not sure how it'll go after the start. Maybe after COVID dies down and additional games come out, the game will start to die down. But I think honestly, when April hits, this game is going to be very lit. Very lit indeed. So people are posting about balance. This is just a gripe of mine. The Dogura released like a day -1 of the beta tier list. It's like -60 or 70. It's way too early to tell balance. I mean, people are saying this character's too strong, this character's too weak, and it's always different characters. Like I've seen people complaining about Giovanna, saying she's bottom 1, and now Dogura has her in top 3 of her tier list. Like, come on, guys. Like, it's initial impressions are okay, but it's really too early to tell. We don't know what the meta is gonna look like. I'm sure there's tons of tech we haven't even thought of or discovered yet. Please take balance with a grain of salt. If you like the character but everyone says he's trash, don't listen to them. It's just a beta. Most likely the balance is going to change anyways. People are just like positioning so their mains can be better. Like, I should start complaining about Ramlethal on Twitter so she gets buffed from the beta. There's that meta going on. I don't like it, but it is what it is. That's what modern fighting games are, so we'll see how the balance actually shakes out. But right now it feels okay. I mean, I don't know the balance. It's too early to tell. I think just the battle system in general is really cool. Netcode's really good. I think it's going to carry it. But yeah, let me know. I'm going to definitely be playing this game. As you guys know, I probably play Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, Guilty Gear. Granblue Fantasy Versus alongside this game. I think probably I can balance Granblue Fantasy Versus and Guilty Gear Strive at the same time, especially with new DLC coming out. So if you guys are interested in that, or if you're interested in more Guilty Gear content, my goal is to be one of the best. And I think I have a better understanding of fighting games than back when I played Xrd, so I think I can at least make a very good effort towards that. So please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, follow my Twitch, etc. And yeah, till next time. And by till next time, I mean I'm not in the stream. That's for YouTube. So yeah, say bye to YouTube, everyone. I think that's pretty good. Bye, YouTube. Oh, I appreciate all the follows. Holy shit! I heard a bunch of follows come through. So you guys will all be YouTube famous. Cool.